So, if it's not a list and if it's not part of your strategic framework, i.e. your strategic plan, how do you find a strategy? The bottleneck is the key concept here, that the bottleneck is the magic path. And this is another reason to beware of lists when you're dealing with strategy. So compare these two ideas. Maybe they don't look so different at first, but they are way, way different. It's so comforting to do the left-hand one. We're going to write down all the things that would make this a great idea, or make this alternative work, or all the things that must occur for a big success. Versus what's really in the way of what we're trying to do, of what we need to do. It's a huge difference, and the bottleneck is such a key part of that discussion. And what I mean by a bottleneck is that which is in the way of your aspiration that the strategy has to solve. Can you imagine Nike or any entrepreneurial situation finding some brilliant thing like they did by a list like this? Most of this stuff only was really known in hindsight. I don't think this is how people really discover the way to go. These guys had to convince their bosses that putting all their meager budget on one play, and also risking getting sideways with the NBA because they were going to build a shoe that wasn't color regulation. And of course, who knew Michael Jordan was going to be the transcendent star that he was going to be? This is hindsight stuff, and I don't think people get there with this kind of mindset. The bottleneck is easiest to see in this little diagram. So here in the framework, the big three are: what are you trying to achieve? What's in the way? And what is that principle? What is that central guiding light that will help you get around it? And I visualize it in this diagram, where if you start with whatever your aspiration is on the right-hand side, aspiration can be big, it could be a vision, it could be very small, it could be a specific goal, doesn't matter. What's in the way of that from all the choices and actions you have to take? I call this the strategy, bottleneck, aspiration triad. It comes right out of the theory, actually, this flute shape. For every aspiration, there are so many choices and actions you have to take, most of which you don't know when you're creating a strategy. Like that list we just looked at, nobody knew half of that stuff at the time.